everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori Brain. Thank you for being here. So today we're going to talk about depression again, and we are going to talk about how when you're depressed, you wish people just understood some things about depression, but you don't want to be the one to tell them. So I am going to tell you 5 things you wish people knew when you're suffering from depression. And it's interesting because when I first did this, when I first started thinking about this, writing about it, I actually crowdsourced some of my friends who I know have struggled with depression. So all I said was 5 things depressed people wish you knew. Go. And each one of them came back with very similar answers to what I had already written down. So with my very limited crowdsourcing, and actually at the bottom of this video, if you want to add your own things, I think that would also be helpful to people watching this and people reading the comments. But the number one thing is some variation of we didn't choose this and this isn't us. That is one thing that, you know, it's really frustrating when people are just like, well, just don't be depressed, you know, like, don't they make meds for that? Like, just take meds or something like that, where people don't really understand. We didn't wake up one day and we were like, you know what? I want to be the depressed friend. That sounds really good. I want to be the kid in the group who is like always kind of mopey and, you know, not really having a good time and doesn't want to hang out and like all that stuff. No, none of us decided one day that depression was what we wanted to try out next in life. Also, it isn't us. Like, even if you have more of a melancholy personality and you enjoy that bittersweet aspect of life, depression, not feeling anything, that feeling of overwhelming blandness and hopelessness, that's not us. Like, that is just something that we can't get out of. It's that cloud we can't get away from right now. And so that's something that, you know, when you're suffering from depression, it's really hard to let people in on. Like, I know I have self-awareness of how this comes off, what this looks like, how this feels to you as a person, as a bystander, but it's really hard for me to change it. I can't change it right now. Number 2, actually feeling like it will never change. That is a big thing when it comes to depression, is not really feeling like anything is going to work for you, you know, and that is something, you know, talking to people who are currently struggling with depression, when you give them suggestions, so like, why don't you try working out every day? Oh, that doesn't really work for me. Why don't you try, you know, having like a dopamine fast from your phone? You know, that's not going to work for me. And plus I really enjoy, you know, X, Y, and Z on my phone. And it's the little piece, this little glimmer of happiness that I still have in my life. So I'm going to keep doing that. And it's like all these things that, you know, scientifically are proven to alleviate depression. But when you're struggling with depression, you don't see an end in sight. There is no solution in your mind. Even medication, you know, you're just like, well, I don't really want to go through the hassle of trying different medications, and it might affect my career and my work life. It might affect my family. Like, I'm getting by right now. It's okay. So that feeling of both helplessness, I can't change it, and hopelessness, it will never change, is something that is like a daily struggle for people struggling with depression. Number 3, fun things don't sound fun anymore. And that is so hard. When you're in it, when you're really in it, and you just have that blandness, that lack of any emotion whatsoever, and the little spikes of emotion you get here and there are anxiety or just severe sadness. You know, if somebody comes up to you and they're just like, hey, I know you like this concert, let's get tickets, let's go together, you automatically start thinking of the negative sides of it. You're like, well, I'm gonna be out really late, I might need to find a sitter, tickets are expensive, like I don't really want to spend my money on that, and I'm really stressed out about money to begin with, so no. Whereas when you're not struggling with depression, you're like, a concert? Oh my gosh, yes, buy the tickets right now. I will make it work. I will figure everything else out. That sounds like so much fun. When you have depression, it's so hard to pretend like something is fun. And that is what you end up doing a lot of the time. That's one thing that is kind of a side effect of this, is even hanging out with people isn't very fun because you have to pretend. It takes so much out of you to put on a good face, to laugh at their jokes that you don't really think are funny because you don't really think anything is funny. That's just where you're at right now. Number 4, moving is painful. Now, this can be actual literal, like you are stuck in bed, you don't want to get out of bed. Just the idea of getting up and taking a shower simulates this pain response in your brain where it is such a strong resistance that your brain starts interpreting it as pain. You just want to crawl up into a little ball on the couch. You don't want to do anything, actually moving towards feeling better, scheduling a doctor's appointment, scheduling therapy, picking up the phone to call a friend who can really help in this moment. It sounds worse. Like it sounds like it's going to be harder than just waiting it out, sitting through it. All motivation is gone. Like it is so hard to get motivated about anything. And again, it's like thinking of all the negative sides to it where it's just like, well, if I did start working really hard at my job, then I might get a promotion and that would just be more hours and more work. And yeah, it's more money, but like I'm stressed out about that. Like I don't want more stress in my life. That's probably why the reason why I'm not feeling well to begin with, instead of being passionate about something. And it's not laziness. Like moving is literally painful. You feel like you can't get up and go to the gym because you're in so much inner turmoil. Not being lazy, you just feel like you can't. Number 5, you feel like a burden. You are acutely aware of how your depression is affecting those people you care the most. This is a hard one. This is a really hard one coming from somebody who has struggled with depression. Like, you don't want to put your energy on anybody else. Like everybody else is having a good time, it might be the holidays, it might be a birthday party or something, and you just feel really blah. And so people are like, come on, come hang out. But you know that they don't really mean that. They mean come hang out as a fun person. They don't want you around if you're gonna be a mopey, boring person, sad person. That is the story that we tell ourselves when we're depressed. That they don't really want us there. And if they really knew how we felt deep down, they would let us stay. They would let us just be miserable in our own cloud of depression. So it's really hard having depression and not being able to articulate all these things to people. If you feel like this video resonates with you, I encourage you to send it to somebody who you feel like would hear it. Somebody who might not be understanding what you're going through, but is willing to learn. Little things that you can do to help people with depression is say you hear them. Not necessarily I understand, not necessarily I know what you're going through. Like those things are kind of a trigger to a lot of people just because you can't. My depression is going to be completely different from your depression, which is going to be completely different from somebody else's depression. Sometimes very small things set off your depression and it's like you can't climb back out of it. Something very small. I can't find my pants that I was going to wear today. A family member said something that was kind of triggering. All these things that are like not something that necessarily should cause this big snowball effect of depression. However, sometimes they do. So little things you can do to help your friends and family who are struggling with depression right now. Number 1, let them know you love them no matter what. I kind of feel like crying just saying that because that is the biggest thing when you are in it, is knowing that people love you no matter what state you're in, no matter what you can do for them. They love you for you right now in this moment in time. Another thing you can do is don't really ask anything of them. Like if you have a present for them, presents are really great. Like just leaving something on their door, fresh bread, a candle they'll like, even get something Amazon delivered to them, like super fun. And it does help. They like these little things, they do help. And especially coming from you as a loved one, like that means a lot. But not expecting them to respond with a big thank you. Even like taking a picture and sending it to someone is hard. Like it's really hard when you're really in it because you're like, oh, that's a social interaction. Like, I don't even know if I can take that right now. So, just writing a little note saying like, this is for you. I love you. I am for you. And you don't have to say anything back. Like you're okay. Just accepting it and moving on. That's okay. Another thing you can do is keep at it. Like keep inviting them to things. Keep encouraging them to rejoin the circle, rejoin the social interaction, rejoin life. Let them know that you want them. You know, not we want you only if you're happy. No, we want you no matter what. We want you to come to the party. We want you here. You know, even like set up accommodations for them where you're just like, hey, I have this giant walk-in closet with an ottoman in it and the door shuts and no one will even know you're in there if things get too much. We really, really want you here. Come over. You know, we have a place for you to go. That's totally fine if everything gets too much and you just want to retreat. But I just want to give you a hug. I just want to see your face. That's all I want right now. And if you can't, that's fine. You know, I support you in whatever you need. But I would really love to have you there. All these things are just so important and uplifting, and the feeling of disconnection is so strong when you're struggling with depression. You feel disconnected from yourself, you feel disconnected from your daily life, your career, your friends, your family, people you love. And so if you as a loved one are reaching out to that person with connection, and you're like, we are still connected. I love you no matter what. I am here for you. I am in your corner. That goes such a long way. Also, another small thing, asking what you can take off their list. So everybody has a list. Even if you're like bedridden and you don't do anything and you have zero responsibilities, you have a list in your mind of things that you need to do. And so asking somebody, you know, what can I take off your list today? Like if there is, you know, if their meds aren't working, say they're on Zoloft. I hate Zoloft. Zoloft did not work for me, so I'm using Zoloft. If it works for you, great. I'm so glad you found it. But say they're on Zoloft and they're like, yeah, I really need to schedule an appointment because this isn't working for me and I need to get it changed. You can schedule that appointment on their behalf. All you need is their doctor. You find the doctor's number on your own. Like the internet is a wonderful place, and the patient's date of birth. That's really all you need to call and schedule an appointment. You can do that for them. Also, going grocery shopping for them or ordering something for them that they were just like, yeah, I really need to, like it's on my list. You know, it's really just a few clicks on Amazon. I don't know why I haven't yet. Do it for them. You can do their taxes for them. I hope this helps. If you guys have anything to add to either list, either the things that people struggling with depression wish you knew or the things that you as a loved one can do to help, please leave them in the comments. I think this will be really helpful for people watching this, and I hope you guys are doing okay. Take care.